for a quick take. Adam broke the news Wednesday that Buccaneers and defensive tackle Vita Vea have agreed to a one-year, $30 million extension, ending Vea's hold-in at training camp that has been ongoing since late July. Shefty, how'd this all come together?
Listen, they started talking over the last 48 hours. Talks heated up. And again, we're at the point in the preseason, in the summer, where Vita Vea is a big guy. He needs to get in shape for the regular season opener. If he's going to get in shape for the regular season opener and be a full-time participant for opening day, this is the time to get a deal done. The Buccaneers also stepped up, paid him essentially a 2-year, $48 million deal. That's what it comes down to. At 18 left, they added on 30, 2 for 48, $24 million a year. Gets the guy more in line with some of the top-paid defensive tackles in the game. And I think if you look at the Buccaneers, there are not many teams in the league, if any, that have taken care of their own homegrown players more than Tampa has, which is interesting. I know Baker's not homegrown, but he's a homegrown quarterback there in Tampa. They'd like to take care of him, but the two sides right now aren't talking about a new deal.
Deadlines tend to spur action, and the deadline coming up is the Week 1 opener for Tampa Bay. Okay, so their star defender is back in the fold, and we move on to the Browns quarterback competition, which continues this Saturday. Shedeur Sanders getting his chance to start a preseason game against the Bills. Deshaun Watson started the preseason opener against the Bears. Sanders played 3 drives, went 6 of 11 passing for 79 yards and an interception. So there's plenty on the line this Saturday, but if you ask Shedeur, he isn't feeling the pressure.
I'll say every day of my life is important. Every day is important. I wouldn't say it's a day that's not important, so that's just another day going out there doing what I got to do, honestly. I don't really feel anxiety or any pressure, even going into things like that anymore, because it's like that's how I approach everything. So, it's just another day of going to work. That's all it is for me.
So I go back to last Saturday, covering that game, Bears and Browns, and seeing what Deshaun Watson did at him, and hearing how his head coach Todd Monken talked about him after the game. 22 months he'd been off the field due to injuries and suspension. He was awesome, phenomenal. Was really glad to see him back out there. So I don't know if that's him tipping his hand about where he's going here, but is there anything Shedeur can do to make his case with his performance against the Bills this weekend that could help him earn that QB1?
I'm just curious, before I even answer, you watched the game live. You were impressed with Deshaun.
I don't know if impressed would be the right word. To me, it was you're back out on a football field, trying to get yourself into football shape. Mm-hmm. Didn't really see him try to take many deep shots, but first time in 22 months being back out there, it could have gone worse.
I think the feeling around there has been, there's been upbeat talk about Deshaun Watson. He's the veteran guy. And they opened the season with 2 road games in Tampa in Jacksonville against the Jaguars, and then in Tampa against the Buccaneers. And it would be easy to start with the veteran. Might be wise on the road to start with the veteran. And then if it doesn't work out, then you could always turn back to the younger quarterback. Again, Shedeur has his chance here to make a statement on Saturday. This is his time. This is his start. He gets a half, just like Deshaun Watson got a half to start the game last week. Let's see what he does with it, and then we can continue the conversation.
Shefty, is there any scenario, let's look at our magic ball real quick, where Deshaun Watson is in Cleveland next year?
I mean, it's hard to imagine that, but who would have ever imagined that he'd be in this position where would you have ever thought that there was a chance he was going to start another game for that team?
Yeah. Very unlikely, though, fair to say, right?
Unlikely.
Yeah, no matter what. Like, he could go back out there and be good, right? And if he goes and leads them to a playoff run or something, then it's a different conversation. But most likely, even if he goes out there and plays, he's going to be good. So there's no reason that he should be on the field, because it does nothing for the Cleveland Browns and their future. It does nothing for Deshaun Watson to go out there and just be good or be pretty good. Or, hey, you know what? Hasn't played in a while. He looks pretty good for not playing in a while. Don't care. It does nothing for them. You have Shedeur Sanders, you have Dylan Gabriel, and Taylor Green, who you drafted all in the last 2 years, and you know nothing, essentially, about them, or you don't know if one of them can be your future, and you have 2 first-round draft picks next year in a loaded quarterback class. What does Deshaun Watson do for you? So to the Shedeur Sanders point, can he earn the starting job? What can he do to get back in that mix if it is Deshaun Watson leading? It shouldn't matter. He should be the starter, because you have to figure out what you have in him before you can decide what we're going to do at that position in the future, because you've invested a lot of draft capital and you have a lot of draft capital to use moving forward.
Just to piggyback off of Jordan's point, I would just say even if he made a big playoff run, you still have no justification to re-sign him. But I think there's a key
If
to
he made a big playoff run?
If they go to the AFC Championship game, there's no justification to re-sign Deshaun Watson.
Why?
Because you can never assume he's going to do it twice in a
Yeah.
row. You cannot assume that Deshaun Watson is going to be
Crazy.
He's had like one good year in his career when he was
plays
healthy.
well. If he gets the Cleveland Browns to the AFC Championship, this team that's looking for a
team that just
quarterback to
traded their
win.
best
sign him
player in
right
the
there.
offseason and he
I'm
decided to fail.
I'm done.
Okay,
You
are
last-
right there.
Yeah, as an executive, I'm done in that spot. But in general, I can't bet on him once. I've already done that. Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the team, Jimmy D. Haslam, but Jimmy Haslam's words were basically it was like a failed experiment or whatever he said. Then he went to the guy's wedding, which so when you're saying, did you ever think it could happen again? Yeah, the moment he showed up at the wedding, I'm like, well, okay, maybe it's not a failed experiment. They're going to have him potentially start. The key to the NFL, if you want to break down the NFL into one singular thing, what is the best possible thing that could happen to you if you're an NFL team? It is finding a quarterback between rounds 2 and 7 that plays like a quarterback that is good enough to be drafted in the first round. That is your singular goal. If you don't have a quarterback, can I find someone on the cheapest of possible deals that I could build the other 50 some odd guys around him that are so good because I'm paying him no money. If they find a guy in Shedeur Sanders with 5th round money and they get off of Deshaun Watson next year, here's the other part. They may be in good shape. The other thing I would say, look at the roster not paying attention to the name of the team, the history of the team, or the quarterback. They're actually ripe for a big-time quarterback. They have a lot of guys on that roster that you would say, a quarterback would be pretty good around him.
You can go get a Jeremiah Smith, one of those first-round picks, if you figure it out with Shedeur this year, next
We
year.
have Jeremiah Smith between you and I now on 2 teams next year. This is amazing.
Play for all of them.
I mean, am I wrong to say that Shedeur gives him a better long-term shot
Yes.
than Watson?
No, you're not.
No, you're not wrong on that, but would it be a mistake if they go with Deshaun Watson, Myron, to start week 1?
I don't think it's a mistake. Why are we still having this conversation about Shedeur? Like,
Because he's in the mix
But-
for
but I
to be
mean,
the
how-
quarterback in Cleveland.
But meaning, how much more time does he need to emerge as the guy? Like, I feel like
Myron,
he's
it's year
gotten a lot
two.
of, but I think he's had opportunities. You have to beat Dylan Gabriel. You've got to beat, Deshaun Watson, who's had, obviously a lot of tread on the tires, is not at his best self. I think Shedeur Sanders has been given a great opportunity to say he's the guy. And I think if that were clear, that's exactly what the Browns would say. This is the guy. You want to know why? Because I want my second-year quarterback to have the confidence going into the season to know he's not fighting for the job, to know that it's his job and that he can build chemistry with the guys around him and they can start to look forward to the season with that in mind. That's not the case here. So clearly to me, Shedeur Sanders hasn't shown something. I don't know what that is, but he hasn't done enough to make it definitive. I also think this is a team that's really playing for 2027 and whatever happens in that NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders isn't the quarterback of the future. Deshaun Watson isn't the quarterback of the future. And I think that's why it may not matter as much how this all plays out, because 2027, I think that's where they're going to be looking for their franchise quarterback.
Part of me wonders, Adam, I don't know how to rectify this, but there's different agendas in every team. Front office that brought Deshaun Watson in here, maybe trying to get one last-ditch effort at return on investment, and a brand new coaching staff that's trying to figure it out, the right path to go. Is there a conflict here between
I
entities?
actually think the agendas align here.
Okay.
This organization has been so bad for so long that the agenda is to win because they've done none of that during their time in Cleveland. So the new head coach, he wants to win. The owners, they've been there a long time. They want to win. The GM, he wants to win. Front office, they want to win. Like, everybody's tired of losing. The agendas here happen to align perfectly, but they need some players, most notably the quarterback, to develop to pull it off. And they can't win without the quarterback doing it. Nobody is going to have their agenda set or met unless that quarterback plays well, whoever that quarterback is.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to win with the quarterback situation as it currently stands. Maybe 2027 is when they do find that answer in Cleveland. Straight ahead here on